Hey, we're back again, and this is going to be slightly different. I've been talking about the bass guitars I've used on the projects, and this is obviously not a bass guitar. I can play guitar well enough to say I can do it without being a liar, but to be honest with you, I've always been with very good guitar players in bands, so I don't really spend a whole lot of time on it. Otherwise, why take the time? But I stay with it enough just so I can use it for writing purposes. This is a rather unique guitar, meaning there's nothing really that special about it except that it's probably rare. This is an American-made Epiphone Texan guitar, and you can't see it right now, but it has a sticker on the inside. This is American made. It was made in Kalamazoo, Michigan in 1967. And prior to the internet taking over the world, you could write to the Gibson company and get a list of everything that they ever made. And they would send it to you in paper form, and it was about the size of a small town phone book. And you looked up the serial number, and it would tell you what year your instrument was made. And this was made in 1967, and I did a little research, and the Gibson Company was started in 1903, but the Epiphone Company predates that by at least 20 years. Gibson bought out Epiphone in 1986, and so all Epiphones now are made by Gibson, usually foreign made. But this is American made, and you can prove it by looking at the little sticker inside the sound hole. Now, I've used this extensively. I bought this when I was in high school, which would have been probably anytime between 1970 and 1972. I can't remember the exact year I got it. And it wasn't until I got the information from Gibson that I found out how old it was. I didn't really know if it was going to be valuable or not, so it never had a good case until just maybe sometime about 1980. I finally bought a good case for it. So it's got weather cracks all over it. It's got grief. Something fell on it years ago and landed on it and left some marks, but it still plays really well. And it was originally marketed as a guitar for women because the neck is extremely narrow. And there is this very rare Beatles clip of Paul McCartney coming out and playing Yesterday on an acoustic guitar. And the acoustic guitar he had, which he played left-handed, of course, was one of these. And that would have been about 64, 65. So this is not the guitar that McCartney had. If I had the guitar that McCartney had, I could probably pay off my mortgage. But that's not the issue. I have used this extensively on a lot of the other projects, and it's on the Cosmonaut Bob CD. On the only acoustic song that's on here, it's a thing called Our Own Way, and it's on this thing, my demo CD. It's extensively used throughout this. I played it on a thing called This, That, Here, and There, which I'm going to show you the chords in a little bit. And I played it on a suite called the Sunrise Suite, which is an 11-minute, my first attempt at writing something that was really progressive, and I use it extensively throughout that. And it's also on a thing called Pearls in the Sand. But here is the chord progression for This, That, Here, and There. I think we're just going to leave that as is. I haven't played this for a while, and some of those chords, like I said, I haven't spent a lot of time on this. This guitar is also extensively used. Well, not extensively, but it's on the first Salt project. It's on 2 different songs. It's on a thing called Wish I Was a Child Again, and a thing called Theme for a Perfect Day. And I'm going to attempt to do Theme for a Perfect Day, which, if you've heard that, it's got a really nice harmonica part, which was done by Mr. Gary Jones. He was not available to do this video with us, but I'm going to show you the song. It's a short one, so bear with me, please. Well, we're just going to leave that as is. We'd be here all day if I tried to perfect every little Chinese note. So, sorry about that, but that's as good as it's going to get right now. It's the last song on the first Salt album. It's also used on another song, which I'm going to do a very abbreviated version of. It's called Wish I Was a Child Again. And on the CD, you'll hear Dan Liu doing some slide parts, and the guy who was the studio owner and also co-producer with me on that project, a guy by the name of Eddie Prather, he played lap steel on it, just to kind of round it out a little bit. But here's the basic acoustic part for that. Okay, not going to happen.
Go for it.
I have another acoustic. This is a Yamaha classical. It's the model number is CGX-101A, and this is used on the new project on Trophy Hunting for Unicorns. It's used on the one acoustic song, which is called Mountaintops, and features the rest of the band. Curtis on drums, John McCorkle on keyboards, and Dan Liu on acoustic guitar as well. I played the main acoustic part on it, and Dan did these incredibly wonderful leads. And I probably should have acquired a better one of these classicals. I have a very beat up old classical at home, but it just will not stay in tune. So when we were doing the first album, I had played the parts on the Epiphone guitar. I probably should have used a classical, because basically what you've heard. I have another t-shirt that says I played it better at home, and trust me, today's one of those days. But this thing is, actually it has an internal pickup, and it has a little 3-band EQ on it, so the whole thing takes a 9-volt battery. But I just love the way a classical sounds by itself. It just has a wonderful feel to it. I'm going to attempt to do just a little bit of mountaintops. And we're just going to leave that as is. I don't know if any other bass players out there, if you play guitar as well, you probably noticed switching back and forth from the wider neck and heavier strings on a bass and then moving to guitar takes a little bit of practice. And I'm a little out of practice right now because I've been spending more time on my basses. But I really like this. And I found this at Sweetwater. I have 3 guitars I've purchased from Sweetwater. I'm not endorsed by them. I don't think they endorse anybody. They don't need to. But the fact is, if you're looking for really good used instruments, sometimes check out some of the used instrument sections. And that's where I found this guy. And I'm really glad I did, because it's a heck of a lot easier to play than the old beat-up one I have at home. And this one actually stays in tune. And I will probably end up using it again on the next project. And trust me, there will be a next project. Give us another year, and hopefully some of you start buying some of the merch, because we need to put another project together. So hey, thank you for your time, and thank you for putting up with my sloppy playing.